Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing one of the best and most used weapons in the game, and that is the Fixer. I'll be doing a full guide discussing how you get it, which variants to keep an eye out for, and which mods you should be using to maximise the weapon's damage. A lot of this will be based on stats but also opinions, so if you have any tips or thoughts which are different to mine, feel free to drop them down below in the comments and we'll have a discussion and share our own kind of opinions. With all that being said, let's begin. To start with then, if you maybe are a new player or maybe you just don't know how do you actually get a Fixer? For this one there's a few different options. Fixers are tradable, so you can buy them from other players or vendors in the game just to get you kind of started off. To craft one for yourself though, you will need to obtain the plan, which can be unlocked by either buying the plan from another player in a vendor. This is probably the fastest way to do it, but may be hard to find one. The second way of doing it is opening up one of the mutated party packs, which you can get from the mutated events. These also have a high chance of dropping other plans as well as the Fixer, so it can be quite hard to catch your luck with that one. And then finally, the third one, probably the most popular one, is going to be try earning the plan from the event encrypted once the quest, the lowdown, has actually been completed. Now on the note of the event encrypted, you can actually activate this event yourself by completing the quest Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. This is activated via the Sheep Squatch poster, which you can find at any of the train stations or in some players' camps. Now once this quest is actually completed, you will then be able to buy an Assaultron Recall keycard from a vendor and start the event yourself at the Pylon ambush site in the Ash Heap. This can be done on a server once every 3 hours, or if you want you can jump server and see if the new server has had the event on. If not, start again. It is worth noting as well that you can only unlock the Fixer plan from the event as a reward if you've completed this quest line according to the wiki. I don't know how true that is because I think I've got it myself without completing it first, but I don't know, I'd give you some advice here from what that says. A little side note as well, just in case anyone does complain that they don't get it first time, this is not a guaranteed reward, so it may take you a few different goes. So now you know how to get one, let's take a look at the best variants and some extra information that you might want to know about the Fixer. First of all, if you don't know, the Fixer is actually the best stealth commando weapon in the game. This is due to the fact that the weapon can actually be crafted up to level 50, whereas say its competitor, the Handmade, can only be crafted up to level 45. Now if it could be crafted at level 50, the Handmade would actually be better, but because of this limitation, the Fixer is better. It's also worth noting that the level plays a big role in the actual amount of damage that the weapon does, so if you're going to buy one, make sure to keep an eye on the level of the weapon, because I have seen ones before that's like say level 30 and you go, oh that's got nice rolls, and you buy it without realising the level of the gun. Now the best variants for this weapon will largely be influenced by your build, as this is the main factor into your weapon's actual damage output. As standard though in the community, the best legendary variants you want to look out for is say any anti-armor, 2-shot, bloodied or quad fixes you can see. Now of course there will be the secondary and third attributes to consider, because there's different ones like say explosive, VATS cost, whatever you kind of fancy, whatever you prefer on your weapons, all these different things like faster fire rate, like you've got to take these into account, not just the primary one. Now there is lots of other different legendary variants, but these are the ones that kind of stand out to me. If you've got a different preference, maybe like Gormans or Aristocrats, drop them down in the comments and let me know what you kind of feel about these and what you think is actually the best. For me, my actual personal favourites out of the Fixers that I have is probably my B2525 or my Bloodied Explosive Fixer. These two are great and a lot of fun to use, but by all means, if you aren't running like a Bloodied build, change these to maybe anti-armor, so like an anti-armor explosive or an anti-armor 2525, and you're going to have a really solid weapon to go for. Now before we dive on to the next bit, please drop a comment down below whether or not you're a Bloodied build or whether you're not a Bloodied build, and which Fixer that you actually plan on using or that you use to day-to-day kind of uses. So now you know how to get a Fixer and which legendary variants to look out for. Now we're going to move on to the third part of this video, which is going to be talking about which mods you want to use to maximize the damage output of your weapon. This bit's probably more so for literally everyone, so the other bits, a lot of players would know how to get them and which ones are the best. But now this is the one which is kind of questionable, and we can have our own opinions on this one as to what's the best. For the weapon mods though, there are 6 different categories to consider. The first one will be the receiver, and for the receiver it's all down to you as a player. If you're a casual player, I would recommend the powerful auto receiver, as this has got the highest damage output using standard 45 rounds. If you class yourself as maybe more of a seasoned player or wanting to push your damage to its absolute maximum, then the Prime Auto Receiver is the best option for you. This does an increased amount of damage, but with it some extra requirements, meaning that you need to use flux to actually craft ammo, which is a lot more expensive and time consuming. So if you don't want to be kind of doing all that, just stick to the powerful auto receiver. The second one to consider is going to be the barrel. For the weapon's barrel, there's simply one option to consider though, and that is going to be the aligned long barrel. This one offers you the best range and also the best weapon accuracy out of all the different options available. For the stock, for me personally, there's only one real option, and this is going to be the forceful stock, as this has the best durability, meaning that you don't need to repair your weapon as often. There is some other ones, say like the aligned stock, that has a bunch of kind of bonuses to it with aim speed, weapon stability, sighted accuracy, and also your recoil. But for me, I don't really feel like they do that much, and they could just say that on loads of different things, and whether or not you feel it in the game, I'm not sure. For the fourth mode, you want to look at the magazine, and for damage output, the perforating magazine offers plus 40% armor penetration, but it does mean that you're limited to only 20 bullets. An alternative to this would probably be the piercing magazine, which only has a plus 20% armor penetration, so it is a little bit less, but it does have an increased reload speed bonus and an extra 5 bullets per magazine. Now the scope, this one is also down to your playstyle. I did a bit of research looking into the arguments and stuff on this one, and one person in particular, Angry Turtle, likes to use the long scope, as when he uses a fixer he likes to just like go all out on VATs. Now for me personally, I would not use this one just because it's not my kind of playstyle, and I like to aim outside of VATs as well. So for me, I would use the red dot sight, or the reflex sight I think it's called in game, which also comes with a lower AP cost. It just means that the VAT accuracy is slightly less, but you know, you've got that many other things boosting it, I'm sure you'll be fine. Finally, for the muzzle of this weapon, there's only really one choice, and that's got to be the suppressor. This weapon is designed literally specifically for stealth, and without it having a suppressor, the stealth's kind of just thrown out the window, so I'd definitely put on a suppressor for this one. Now if you're kind of new to using a fixer and you're looking at this and going, hang on a minute, I don't actually own any of these mods, how do I get them? Don't worry about it. All you got to really do is craft either a bunch of fixers or a bunch of combat rifles and just scrap them over and over again. This will make you actually learn plans. This is the same as any other weapon in the game pretty much, bar I think ones that you buy with gold. Crafting them and then scrapping them, eventually it'll just learn you all of the plans, and it's as simple as that. That's everything you need to know though about how to get the fixer, which legendary variants to use, and what mods are the best to maximize your weapon. Now there's also a lot of things which I didn't touch on for the sake of the video. I just wanted to focus on these 3 points. I didn't touch on my build or anything. That can be in a different video in the future, in the next couple of weeks. But if you have any extra tips or suggestions that you want to share with anyone, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Also, if you've got any questions about this, drop them below as well. I'll try my best to answer, and if I don't know the answer, I'm sure someone else watching this video will also be able to share their kind of knowledge on it as well. But now though, I'm going to leave this one here, so if you found this video helpful, make sure to show me some love by hitting that like button, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe for more Fallout 76 videos. Thanks for watching, bye bye.